In this landscape photography video, we're in the Drakensberg mountains of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, and I'll be taking you through some of my photographic compositions, as well as bringing you on for the adventure. We'll be visiting South Peak and the Mlambonja Buttress, so I hope you enjoy the video.
Well, we've only just got up to the top, but I'm not going to hang around. I've got to try and find a composition of this light behind me. There is so much contrast here. The mountain is almost black compared to that highlight behind, and you've got some rain creating layers in the landscape. So it's a really ideal shooting condition, even though we don't have any direct light. And I'm going to try and make something of this foreground that's down at my feet here. So this is a nicely arranged foreground, really. There's a nice scattering of bushes and grasses, and I don't think I need to do much more than just get lower to really bring that foreground well to the fore. Looking in the opposite direction now, here we have the Cathedral Ridge. I actually think it's this portion that's in the centre of the scene now that's going to be producing the most interesting images. We found an overhang to shelter under whilst the rain passes through, and I would love it to pass through because look at that scene there. These jagged features on the foreground ridge are called the Chessmen, and in the background you've got Catkin Peak and the various ridges, the Dragon's Back and Vulture's Retreat. So maybe I'll bring out the telephoto lens and just see if I can make an image of that. I mean, certainly if the rain stops, that will look absolutely outstanding. So we are calling it for the day. The rain's still falling and the light is, well, faded. We've kind of lost the light off here to the right. So we're back to the tent, and this can wrap it up for the evening shoot. But we will be back here tomorrow morning, and we are expecting it to be clear, which should present some whole new opportunities.
Everybody's trying to get off as fast as they can to get up the hill, even though it's before 5 o'clock still. But Mr. Gibbs has decided to have his head torch run out, so...
Okay, I'll strap it to the head.
Well done, team.
Yay. Some mornings, Alex, I hate you.
Well, good morning everybody from South Peak. You're not going to get any prizes for guessing where I'm going to be shooting this morning. It's actually very windy up here on the summit, and so it's going to be difficult to incorporate foregrounds, particularly when it's as dark as it is now. It's actually very hard to even see the grasses, though obviously you can take photos to do that. But I think in this case we have such a good cloud setup behind the main ridge. I'm going to keep it simple at first and then maybe try to work with some grasses. Well, I was going to really focus on photographing this view on its own, but these rocks have given me something to think about, because they are in really nice shape, and you can see my camera struggling to focus because it's still very, very dark, but I think I really should work to include these. I've actually wandered around to figure out where the best spot might be. You can see you bring in other rocks, but the most handsome rock is probably this one on the left. So you know, maybe a composition like this. It's tricky getting it right, but I will find my best compromise, because I do like this foreground. I've settled on this arrangement, albeit a bit of a taller frame, because I can spread the rocks a bit more across the image and I don't have as much emptiness on the right hand side of my foreground. Where's the sun going to come up, Adam? So I've got just a few minutes now to look for another composition. You can see the light has gone completely. That's because that glow on the horizon that was providing the warmth in the last composition has now dissipated. It's much more neutral just before the sun breaks the horizon. So I've got a bit of time to hunt down another composition, but I probably am going to end up shooting in this direction, because the clouds really add an extra dimension to the scene, and we don't have those in the direction of the sunrise. This area has some grass tufts which will catch the light when the sun comes up, so it's important to be up here and actually not just over there, because I think that'll be in shadow right on the edge of the mountain. And it can be a textural foreground, I think, rather than being clever about the exact positioning of these tufts and so on, to just more or less fill that foreground with those grasses. Today we're off to the Mlambonja Buttress, which I've never been to before, so it's going to be fun having an explore around the edge with various views along the cliffs in either direction, but I don't know quite what we're going to find, which is going to be fun when it comes to composition. We've got about an 8-kilometre hike ahead of us, which will take us a few hours today, so we've got to get there first and find somewhere to pitch the tent, which can sometimes be tricky in the Drakensberg, but once we've done that I'll be talking you through my process as usual, and we'll have an evening shoot and then get up early in the morning to see what the sunrise brings.
Oh God.
Well done, people.
always loved man. Unamanga uthe mawehla lapha wabona ukuthi we. Mina mfana
There's first couple of rain. I've got a method for stopping you bullying me now. I can point the camera at you, see?
Why will I have a bag of hot chocolate? Have I always
You
liked?
have a bag of hot chocolate. Where is it, see? Let us down. It's been raining for more than an hour as thunderstorms pass through. Fortunately, not with too much thunder and lightning, but they've now passed and you can see the sun's come out. So we're going to head out up to the edge over this way. I wanted to go to the buttress, but that looks like it's still in cloud at the moment. So we'll have to save that one for tomorrow morning. But hopefully we'll get some good views because the light's looking very, very promising right now. The group is splitting because it looks amazing everywhere, but Annette and I are going to walk to the end here towards the Cathedral Ridge first and check out that view before turning back and going in the other direction. Okay, let's see what this view is like. Wow, pretty nice. A bit of drama, so I'm just going to take the simple view here and not include any foreground because actually where we stood is sunlit and the contrast would be too much for sure. And that little bit of sun has warmed up the moisture that fell from the clouds and we now have mist. We might not have the light this evening, but we can see the view that will come for tomorrow morning, and what a view it is. And we can't even see all the way along the ridge to Catkin Peak and the Sturkhorn, which I know are out there. Just immense, and I've never seen this before. This is Elephant and Cockade, these two hulking cliffs here. But I'm expecting them to look absolutely wonderful tomorrow morning. Very exciting. We might not quite have had the light we were hoping for this evening, but this view is something else, and it is a first for me up here. Can't wait for tomorrow morning because we've actually got some cloud forecast which will bring some real dynamism for the scene. So we're going to end the day shoot here and we're going to pick it up in the darkness tomorrow morning. Well, good morning from the Lambonja Buttress. It was raining all night last night. A hell of a lot of rain came down actually. So I think we're pretty happy just to come out here with clear skies.
and this magical view. We haven't quite got the cloud amounts that we wanted, but this is going to be a wonderful morning of photography. I think because there's less interest in the sky, I'm going to focus a little more on my foregrounds here, see if I can find something really interesting. And actually these bushes to my left here look like they might do the trick. So I'm going to have a play around with my compositions here and see if we can find a shot for when the light gets really good, and it's going to change very, very quickly from now on. So I better get going. Here we all are getting ready to shoot, and this is the view. Elephant and cockade and pyramid and column, that central rock feature there, which I've often photographed from a bit more close up, but we're in a new location today, as I said. And of course it's these bushes down here that I'm really interested in. So what I'm going to try and do compositionally is get down a little lower to bring them into the frame like this. But what I'm not going to do is pan round to include this cliff on the right. I think that is the elephant, and of course Tony and his tripod are there, but I think including that cliff is too much anyway. So I probably want to pan round somewhere here and go for a framing something like that, maybe a bit higher up actually, in a slightly deeper frame. And I think that that's going to work really beautifully, and it's just a matter of choosing the right light. So I'm going to shoot this right now, but if I quickly swing you to my left, then you can see there's some lovely light on these ridges. So I might just shoot a portrait more or less of the middle of the frame there as well. I just love those fluted lines. And then we'll see how the light develops. Well, there's the first indication of sunrise, so we know it's going to produce a really nice lighting angle on the view. But it does also mean that we've got about 10 minutes of shooting from now. Things change so rapidly, so apologies if I don't manage to record a video at every second of this shoot. This shot is actually 90 degrees to the sun, so I'm just trying it with my K's polarizer, and it does make a lot of difference. So here's without the polarizer, and here's with the polarizer, so a really, really dramatic difference, and of course a very important difference for the photograph. In the center of the frame here, just this river valley looks gorgeous, this lovely diagonal line. So if I just zoom in here, and then I'll play around with my exact camera positioning, maybe shoot a little bit further down like this. I mean, that's just so, so pretty. And of course a bit of contrast work will do wonders here too. Meanwhile, look at the colour in this sky. The sun is rising, so rather than try to be clever and find new compositions here, I think I am going to repeat some of the images that I have just taken and see if I can do anything else in between, but really don't have long until the sun is above the sort of narrow band of haze on the horizon. Then it starts to produce some serious light. Everybody's focusing on their thing. I'm going to go find that shot and make sure I do a good job of it. So I've shot the scene exactly as it is here, albeit when I'm shooting 2x3 photographs, I have a bit more height to the frame, so the frame doesn't look quite ideal here. But one technique I was using, aside from shooting an exposure bracket, is to put my hand over the corner of the frame. You can probably see that flare bottom right appearing, disappearing, and some other flares. And actually in the photographs they're even more pronounced because I'm shooting at f13 and that really defines those flares. So the hand trick to cover that front element makes a lot of difference sometimes to the contrast in the image, and really reduces the amount of work you have to do in post-processing. This river valley looks even better now thanks to that cloud, so I'm not going to hesitate and take this photo again. these clouds have now moved around towards the base of pyramid and column, but I think there's two potential ways of shooting this. One, as you see here, and another, a portrait frame, just including Catkin Peak, which is the peak at the back, Champagne Castle, keeping things fairly narrow and leaving out pyramid and column. This is just so pretty to watch. I'm going to record this video for a while and then speed it up so you can see the cloud forming and drifting through the frame here. Absolutely gorgeous. The light's getting harsh quite quickly now, but how lucky have we been to have this cloud inversion form just as the sun came up. You can hopefully see in the middle of the frame here a portrait shot that I think will, well, it's nice and simple and I think it will work well. Another view down into a stunning valley. Even as the light gets harsher, this works beautifully. Again, using a K's polarizer. There's with the haze, and there's cutting through some of that haze.